Wow. I was doing okay. I made dinner for myself, and I'm really broke right now. So I just made some pasta with what I had in the freezer and in the fridge. Um, I had some like half rotting bell peppers and an onion and a little bit of ground beef in the freezer and some garlic, and so I made that into kind of like stuff to go into a pasta, and then I had a little bit of pasta sauce left, so I threw that in there, and then I threw some cheese in there to kind of bulk it up a little bit, and I'm having gluten-free fusilli pasta with that. I'm proud of myself that I was able to make dinner for myself today. It seems like most days I just don't want to eat, even if I'm hungry, and or I don't want to get out of bed. And so I was proud of myself, and I was doing just fine. And I was looking at Hulu, and I'm like, what's expiring on Hulu? And I saw there were two things that were expiring on Hulu. One was a movie that I want to see, and the other was a documentary about the Clintons. And I decided to go with the Clintons one. However, in that film, in the documentary, like the first 5 minutes, they talk about Bill Clinton and he meets Reagan, and that just flashed me back. Because when my mom was in the hospital, sorry, when my mom was in the hospital, um, in the recovery space, I was there, and I was the only person there, and I was scared because um, she kept not knowing what was going on, and she couldn't really say full sentences, and she started mumbling, and I was like getting really scared. And I asked the nurse, very nice lady, from Cameroon, which I loved her accent, because it reminded me of Bibi Zahara Benet, but she was nicer. And I guess just saying less shady is probably better. Um, and she was a great nurse, and I just told her, like, I'm concerned my mom is having these episodes of saying things that don't make any sense, and she's mumbling, and I don't know what she's saying sometimes, and I'm really scared. And she made her do a test, like a cognition test. And the first thing that she asked her to do was to squeeze her hand anytime she heard the letter H, I think. I can't remember. It was A or H, something like that. And it wasn't like she was saying like car or boat, or like saying words that have the letter in it, like the letter A, for example, if that was what it was. I don't know what it was. But she just said like M, P, R. She just said letters, and my mom kept squeezing her hand. And so I was like, she can't understand. She doesn't know what's going on. And I started crying right then. And then she's like, well, maybe it's just a difficult task for her right now because she's on medications and everything. And I'm like, okay, well, let's keep going. So then she asked her who she was, and she was able to say, and she asked her where she was, and she said that she was at Dignity Health, and she wasn't at Dignity Health. She was at Banner Medical University, so she didn't know which hospital she was at, which was scary to me too. But considering how tired she was and everything that was going on, I didn't blame her for that. I didn't feel scared about that, but but she did ask her about the last three presidents, and I love my mom. She said, dump Trump. And then she said, Obama, I like that guy. And then she said, Reagan. And I lost it. And I'm losing it now because that stupid Clinton's documentary has Reagan in it, and then my mind flashed to that, and I didn't want to feel like I knew, but I knew at that time that she wasn't gonna last very long. Because she couldn't remember. She couldn't do things. She couldn't string words together to make a sentence, and just I feel so guilty because I was there that whole time and I was trying to take care of her as best I could, and I I failed at that. I couldn't take care of her as best as I thought I could. And so the result is that she passed away. And I know that's fucking illogical. I know that's not something that I should be blaming myself for, but at the same time I still feel it so hard. I feel the guilt so much. And at the same time, the entire time I was crying because I knew I was going to lose her, but I also didn't want to have to share that burden with anybody else. I didn't want to have anybody else feel like they had to lose her too, and I feel really guilty that I had to be the one that called my grandma to tell her that my mom's not going to make it, because my mom, I feel like one of her dying wishes was that she made sure that this didn't hurt Grandma and Grandpa, that it didn't kill them. And I think it really did hurt them, and I had to be the one to tell them that she wasn't gonna make it too much longer. I had to, I had to tell my brother, and I had to tell my godmom. And even though that's only 3 people and it's not a lot, it's more than enough. And right now, like right here, I'm having this terrible chest pain, and could be because I'm sick. But I know also that when I've been really depressed before, when I've been really down before, and something just really, really affects me to my core. And it sounds fucking stupid because I know it doesn't make any sense, but I could like feel it in my heart. Like I feel it here, and it feels like there's a pressure, there's a weight on my chest, that there's some burden here, and it feels also like it's like a dull pain and aching, because I have regret or because something happened. And I've felt this way before for totally random things. Like, for example, I found a dead hummingbird outside, a couple months before my mom died. I didn't realize it was going to be super symbolic. But I just looked at it and I was like, this is such a beautiful creature. And it's just dead here, and there was no evidence of how it died. It was just laying there. There wasn't even any ants or any bugs on it. It looked like it had just died, and it was just like pristine, but it was just lifeless. And my heart really hurt for that bird. And I didn't own the bird. I didn't know the bird. I didn't, take care of that bird, have an attachment, but I just felt in my heart some deep pain that bird, such a beautiful creature, doing no harm to anything else, just passed away. And I relate that. It's a parallel to what's happening in my life, or what's happened in my life now. And it just hurts because I felt such huge emotion for things that weren't even attached to me, but just because it's a living creature, I felt sorry for it. I felt guilty somehow that I am not doing a better job to keep things alive in the world. Like, I feel regret. I feel responsibility for all of the terrible actions humanity has done, and I know that pushes me to be a better person, to do things for my community, to try to be a good leader. And I hope that my mom is happy that I can do that and that she was proud of me for doing that. And I just wish that I didn't watch that stupid documentary because fucking Reagan. I will forever remember that moment as, you know, the moment that I really knew that she wasn't gonna come back from this. And I feel that pain in my heart now for her. And I hope to someday let go of this guilt.